We are especially pleased to have our newest senator from Massachusetts with us today, Senator Scott Brown. As David mentioned, starting with his years of service in the National Guard, he has made a point of helping those in active service, veterans, and also their families. When he was a state legislator, he wrote a law that was passed with bipartisan support to modify the state income tax form so that veterans could identify themselves and learn about the Welcome Home bonus benefits available to them. In the United States Senate, he serves on the Senate Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, the Government Affairs Committee, and the Veterans Affairs Committee. He has worked across the aisle to create a dedicated military liaison office within the new Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to protect military families against fraudulent life insurance policies. As you can see, he's working hard for veterans in Capitol Hill, and we thank him for that. And Senator Brown, before you come up, I want you to know we're very proud here at UMass Lowell of our ROTC program, and we proudly have ROTC on our campus. Please welcome United States Senator Scott Brown.
Well, thank you very much, Chancellor Meehan. It's good to see you again. It's good to be back in Lowell. And I want to thank you for your leadership, being in the legislature. We all know as former legislators like me and others how hard you work for this university, and it's greatly appreciated, as well as your service on the Armed Services Committee when you were in Congress. So thank you for that service. As I was walking around, I tried to get here early to events that I have so I can kind of meet people, and a lot of folks said, you know, Senator, we're honored you're here. And we're honored you to come to Lowell and come to our flag raising. No, I'm honored, first of all, to be your United States Senator. But secondly, I'm even more honored to come here and participate in a ceremony started by student veterans where they would have the initiative and the kind of pride to put together a nice event like this. So I'm honored to be here to recognize and thank the UMass Lowell Student Veterans Organization for their leadership. Because as you all know, or you may not know, they have a very unique position to have been veterans and also now be students. They bring in a different perspective than your typical student going from high school to college. I mean, they've gone from high school to war to college. And even if they didn't serve actively in terms of going overseas to fight, they still have a trade and a knowledge that many young people don't have today. And I know, Chancellor, it's something that you've proudly recognized and tried to grab that creativity and ingenuity of those student leaders. And now I challenge them to continue on to engage in the national debate as to how to actually solve our problems. Not just as it relates to the military, but with everything. And the fact that their military service at home and abroad in support of our nation's interests gives them a certain amount of credibility, you know, a certain amount of authority when we're talking about issues that not only affect us overseas, but affect us here at home. To me, they have the ingenuity, the depth and critical skills to be leaders not only here in Lowell, but throughout this great state. And the new GI Bill is the greatest investment, I feel, in veterans and their families since World War II. And I'm continuously working with my Senate colleagues on the Veterans Affairs Committee to streamline and simplify the GI Bill process, because I can tell you, and they can tell you better than I, that sometimes it's just so frustrating, you just say, forget it, I'm not even going to take advantage of it. And when we recognize as a legislature that our veterans were not taking advantage of our welcome home bonus of $1,000. Remember that, guys? Pange, you remember that? You know, I worked with Pange and everybody else, and we actually got together just to do something simple. A little checkoff on your tax bills to say, hey, yeah, I was a veteran, I served, bang, get you $1,000. That rate went from 30-some-odd% up to 70-80% overnight. It's simple things like that that are important to keep our veterans in tune with the benefits that you have all provided them. And we did kind of the work in the legislature, but you're all paying for it with your hard-earned tax dollars. Massachusetts, as I've traveled around this country and around the world, I've been blessed to go to Afghanistan and Pakistan, Israel, Dubai, and Jordan. And just the 9 months that I've been around and visiting our troops in Afghanistan and seeing the energy and passion that they're serving to try to make a difference to keep us safe. It's our job, my job now as a member of Congress, to provide the tools and resources to our men and women so they can finish the job and they can come home safely. Period. And this time, on Veterans Day, we pause to honor those men and women who have served, not only served previously, but are presently serving and will then become veterans, as they answered their call to serve and protect our freedoms and our rights. And I feel personally, and I know you do too, because you're all here. You're here in this beautiful day. A lot of students, I'm so encouraged to see it. You're here to renew our commitment to the men and women that are serving, to those American heroes. We have a Purple Heart Award winner right here. Go up and say thank you. You got all these young student veterans here. Say thank you. The fact that you do have ROTC, I know, it means something for somebody who went through the ROTC program. It means something. And I believe that we need to continue to show our declarations and gratitude and respect to the men and women that are serving and continue to serve. And now, as every year around Veterans Day, we rally around all of our servicemen and women to show them that we care, that we love the fact that they did what they could. And you know what? You also need to thank the families. You need to thank the families who, because I'm just going to step back. I'm off script. I really never use the scripts that my team provides me. I just kind of speak from the heart. Sometimes it gets me in trouble. Hey, whatever. You know? And by the way, do not ever say that your daughters are available on national TV. Okay? If you know what I mean. That's what happens when you go off script. But one of the things that I will say is I'll never forget, and I've been in 31 years this December. I just qualified on the range the other day, and I will never forget when we were mobilizing a soldier, a unit, and a 6'5" soldier came in. He's one of those guys with the big muscles you need those special uniforms for. And he came in to me, he was a little cocky, a little arrogant. I guess he could be. He was 6'5", 300 pounds. He could do that. And we're sitting down, and he was at my station, and we're talking about, hey, listen, this is the wills station. We're doing wills. We're doing powers of attorney. So are you married? And he says, well, yeah, I'm married. I said, well, do you have children? He says, well, yeah, I do. I just had a baby girl. And he started to get a little teary-eyed, and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? So this big guy, getting all worked up, and as I'm delving into his issues, he said, sir, listen, I'll go through that wall over there. If my commander tells me to go, I'll go through that wall, but I just got married. Just had a baby. My wife and I, we're not quite solid, because I'm going away. It's a new marriage. There's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. He starts crying. I'm like, whoa, so what do I do? Called over the chaplain, called over the family support people, tried to work through the issues. He was scared that if in fact he went away, his wife wouldn't be there when he got home. He was afraid that his daughter, if he was killed or injured, he would not see her grow up. And it was just the most devastating thing that he could think of. Here he is, he's going away, and the only thing he could think of was his family. So we did what we could, put the Skype, email, Facebook, IM, letters, constant contact, phone calls with that soldier. And I'll never forget when he came back 12 months later, and he sought me right out. I said, oh my gosh, he's coming at me, he's going to hit me. So he grabbed me and he gave me a big hug. He did adjust my back, which was great. And he said, thank you, sir. My wife and I were solid. I see my baby girl, I've seen her growing up, and he just thanked me. And that was the best thing that I've done in terms of just the reward of just a simple soldier, a simple gesture of taking that extra effort. So the fact that you've done this, Chancellor, and the student organizations have done this to recognize those men and women who have served, you also need to include the families, because those are the people that are really bearing the brunt of all of the loneliness and the pain right here. Is my honey coming back? Can I mow the lawn? Can I plow out the driveway? Can I pay the bills? So it's not just about the soldiers who serve, and I know that I just want to touch on something else that's near and dear to me. What's happening at Arlington Cemetery with the mismanagement and disgrace that has been given to our fallen heroes, and the fact that they're keeping track of those folks on cue cards and not using an iPad or a computer. And through Senator McCaskill and my efforts, we're filing legislation. We are holding those people accountable. They are now going through the entire cemetery to make sure that the people who are buried there are the actual people that should be buried there. Oh my goodness, isn't that a novel thought? We're going to fix the problems associated with that and make sure that we can continue to provide the tools and resources, even though we're having financial difficulties, for the men and women who are serving. So they can serve, they can do the job, they can come home. They can come home to those men and women that they love and those kids that they love. So, here we are. Pinch, here we are. Go figure, huh? It's so good to see a lot of familiar faces and the warm wishes and smiles and handshakes when I got here, but listen, the honor is mine to be here honoring these young student leaders and the fact that they would take the initiative to start this organization, number one, have this wonderful ceremony, number two, and Chancellor, I'm honored to be here to support your efforts, whatever you need to continue your battle, you let me know. I want to thank my colleagues, former colleagues, for taking time out, and I want to thank all of you for really making a difference. I'll tell you, this is pretty historic to show the love that our men and women veterans deserve. So thank you for including me. I appreciate it, and I'll look forward to meeting each and every one of you after. Thank you.
What an opening the Senator gave me. Whatever we need him to do. I got a long list. I'm going to give that to you before you go. Thank you very much, and let me also say thank you very much for those powerful off-the-script remarks. We appreciate that. You may not get as much attention as you did election night when you're off the script, but those are very powerful, Senator, and we thank you very much.